The grass is always greener over the septic tank. And if life is a bowl of cherries, what am I doing in the pits? These are books written by Irma Bombeck, the celebrated housewife turned humorist who was extremely popular for poking fun at life in the suburbs in the 1970s and 80s. I ran across a piece that she wrote entitled, "When God Created Mothers." She said, "When the good Lord was creating mothers, he was into his sixth day of overtime when the angel appeared and said, 'You're doing a lot of fiddling around with this one.' And God said, 'Have you read the specs on this order? She has to be completely washable, not plastic, have 180 movable parts, all replaceable, run on black coffee and leftovers, have a lap that disappears when she stands up, a kiss that can cure anything from a broken leg to a disappointed love affair, and 6 pairs of hands.'" The angel shook her head slowly and said, "6 pairs of hands? Why, no way." "Well, it's not the hands that are causing me problems," God remarked. "It's the 3 pairs of eyes that mother has to have." "That's on the standard model?" asked the angel. And God nodded. "One pair that sees through closed doors when she asks, 'What are you kids doing in there?' when she already knows. Another here in the back of her head that sees what she shouldn't, but what she has to know. And, of course, the ones in the front that can look at a child when he goofs up and say, 'I understand and I love you,' without so much as uttering a word." "God," said the angel, touching his sleeve gently, "get some rest tomorrow." "I can't," said God. "I am so close to creating something so close to myself. Already I have one who heals herself when she's sick, can feed a family of 6 on 1 pound of hamburger, and can get a 9-year-old to stand under a shower." Well, the angel circled the model of a mother very slowly. "It's too soft. But tough," God said excitedly. "You can imagine what this mother can do or endure." A line that caught my attention was, "You can imagine what this mother can do or endure." Well, the Bible is the authority, and it does tell us that God finished creating mothers, so we don't have to imagine what she can do or endure. Look around. On this Mother's Day, look at motherhood and follow Paul's advice to the Philippians. Focus on whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. And if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these. Well, let's turn to Scripture. Let's turn to Proverbs 31, and we'll begin reading with verse 10. "Who can find a virtuous woman? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks of nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She's like a merchant's ship, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night and provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes covering for her bed, and she's clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchant with sashes. She's clothed with righteousness and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. I have really been blessed with models of Christian motherhood my whole life. I've seen what a mother can do and endure. I think of my own mother. She would pour her life into our family. And that included a family that had too many foster kids to even try to count. She'd work till she dropped, then crash, recover, and then repeat the cycle. She loved the Lord and others extravagantly. Now, my mom also loved to entertain. She entertained evangelists, and teen groups, and airmen from Chanute Air Force Base, visiting college groups, the preacher and his family. Oh, and we also entertained those strange relatives. We even entertained carnival workers and kids far away from home with no place to go. Oh, she was a faithful wife and a devoted protector of her children with the instincts of a mother bear protecting her cub. And most importantly, she loved the Lord. Now, my wife is incredible. When we got married, there was no way that I could have imagined what she would do or endure. We finished college and we went on, and she was the primary wage earner most of our marriage, so that I was free to minister. She juggled a job and 2 kids, babysitters, the demands of a minister's wife, and you know, she has never complained. Now, she calls herself my helpmate, but that is an inadequate description of all the support that she gives to the ministry in me. And now, because of the 2 sons that she has helped me to raise, we have 2 daughters-in-law that are just incredible. They're women of integrity who honor God, who honor their husbands. Their children are blessed and call them blessed. Oh, there were times when these moms can identify with what Irma Bombeck meant when she said, "What mother has never fallen on her knees when she's gone into her child's bedroom and prayed, 'Please, God, no more. You were only supposed to give me what I could handle. But I'll tell you what, faced with mountains of dirty clothes and dirty dishes, vacuuming that same carpet for the umpteenth time, correcting that same behavior again and again, changing yet another dirty diaper, Irma's lament would hit home. Housework, she said, is a treadmill from futility to oblivion, with stops at tedium and counterproductivity. But I'll tell you what, moms have never been more important than they are today. It's always been rightly observed that mothers are like glue. When you can't see them, even then, they're still holding the family together. You know, it starts with a virtuous woman who then becomes a godly man. I do like Erma Bombeck's description of the miracle that takes place at birth. She said, giving birth is a little more than a set of muscular contractions granting passage of a child. Then the mother is born. Of course, to complete that miracle, we need to constantly pray, oh God, give us homes with godly fathers, mothers, who always place their hope and trust in Him, whose tender, patient toil never bothers, whose calm and courage trouble cannot dim. A home where each finds joy in serving others, and love still shines, though the days be dark and grim. Oh, give us homes where Christ is Lord and Master, the Bible read, the precious hymns still sung, where prayer comes first in peace or in disaster, and praise is natural speech to every tongue, where mountains move before a faith that's vaster, and Christ sufficient is for old and young. Erma Bombeck actually goes on and adds to her writing When God Creates Mothers with this. Finally, the angel bends over and ran her finger across the cheek. There's a leak, she pronounced. I told you you were trying to put too much into this model. No, it's not a leak, said the Lord. It's a tear. What's it for? The angel said. Well, it's for joy and sadness, and disappointment and pain, loneliness and pride. You are a genius, said the angel. Somberly, God said, I didn't put it there. Well, how could you describe a mother without tears? God doesn't put them there. They flow from our being, out of joy and sadness, disappointment, pain, loneliness, and pride. Psalm 58 or 56 verse 8 tells us that God lists our tears on his scroll, and he keeps a record of them, each one. He always cares. He always understands. Well, today we honor each mom. We, as the verse in Proverbs verse 31 says, we honor you for all that your hands have done, and your works bring you praise. But let me leave you with one more thought. True, Erma Bombeck was a humorist. But she said something that I believe speaks to all of us. She said, when I stand before God at the end of my life, I hope that I have not a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. Mom, will you use everything that God has given you for His glory?